all still coming down from the excitement of the Xbox and Bethesda showcase this weekend, but until that gaming backlog gets bigger with great upcoming games, now is the perfect time to grab a bunch at a deliciously reduced price.
I don't know about you guys, but when Among Us announced that it was making its way to Xbox consoles, it was one of the highlights of last year's Xbox and Bethesda showcase, because for some dark reason that we can't quite put our finger on, stabbing your friends in the back is an awful lot of fun, and I don't just mean metaphorically. And the sinister folks at Inner Sloth haven't just rested their laurels since their asymmetrical multiplayer game became a lockdown sensation. They've continued to add new content and refine the formula with clever tweaks like the addition of the distinct character roles with their unique abilities. And as a result, there has never been a better time to murder a stranger than lie about it right now, with Among Us being 25% off, and it's available for both Xbox and PC Game Pass.
Of course, not everyone waits for the big showcase to tell us about what they're working on. The folks behind Greedfall got ahead of the pack by announcing its sequel just a few weeks ago, and if you missed out on the original, you can now grab it for 60% off. This action fantasy epic sees you sailing across the seas to an exotic island where the local population are trying desperately to fend off the various colonizers, mercenaries, and treasure hunters that have washed up on their shores. Between that and the nasty plague spreading across the world, Greedfall is going to give you some serious moral dilemmas to wrestle with. Plus, some freaky monster guys. It's the sort of complex, mysterious fantasy world that makes you want to dive right in. And next-gen players can do so in the blink of an eye thanks to the lightning fast load times the game enjoys on the Xbox Series X and S.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland delivered us one of the most delightful, unhinged gaming experiences of the year so far. But if you want to get back to basics and enjoy your firepower without the fantastical stuff, then the Game of the Year edition of the original Borderlands has now had plenty lopped off its price. You can immediately see why so many people fell in love with this series from the very first moment they laid eyes on its ludicrously oversized arsenal. Whether you want to pick your enemies off from afar with a sniper rifle, or go blazingly wildly with a weapon that also deals electricity damage, Borderlands won't just offer you something to meet those demands, it will offer you 50 different equally deadly somethings and let you take your pick. Borderlands Game of the Year edition is now available for a whole 67% off in all of its cartoonish glory.
The XCOM series is one of the touchstones of the gaming world. If you've ever enjoyed a turn-based tactics game, there's a good chance that there was at least a little XCOM DNA in there. So why not go straight to the source? Now 90% off, XCOM 2 sees you leading your squad in an uprising against the alien horde that has taken over Earth. Although something tells me that these guys aren't going to go down easy. But the unlikely odds of your mission just makes it more exciting. Develop your squad to improve their performance on the battlefield, but keep in mind that permadeath means you might end up saying goodbye to them at any moment, or making the impossible decision of whether to risk it all to save your favourite grenadier or to leave them behind for the good of the mission.
If you can't pick one game to spend your hard-earned cash on this week, then why not scoop up 3 awesome indie titles with the Focus Indie Bundle? We'll even make it half price just to, really spoil you. In Aeon Must Die, you play as a fallen alien emperor on a mission to take sweet vengeance against all those that betrayed him. Turns out revenge is actually a dish best served with like 40 uppercuts apparently. And then there's the dreamlike journey of Shady Part of Me, where you'll learn how to manipulate light and shadow to create new paths and make your way across the game's gorgeous watercolour world. And finally, we've got the dungeon crawling antics of Curse of the Dead Gods. Battle enemies, search for treasure, and try to turn the sinister curses that you keep picking up to your advantage in this stylish roguelike.
Hey, so you know this meme? Did you know it actually comes from a video game called Noire? I know, it's crazy. Like finding out that this wasn't Zach Galifianakis all over again. Anyway, Noire also happens to be an enticing crime thriller in which you play as Detective Cole Phelps. As you take on each new case, you'll get to investigate crime scenes, follow up leads, and haul suspects in for questioning. And things get really interesting once you've got a perp in front of you. The intricately motion captured characters challenges you to read their subtle tics and body language cues to figure out whether they're telling the truth or not. It's tough, dirty work, but at least now it's 50% off.
If you grew up on the cartoon platformers of the 90s and have a passion for head-based fashion, then you should definitely check out A Hat in Time. This Koopy caper involves an extraterrestrial named Hat Kid, who has to scour the galaxy in search of their missing timepieces. The whole game is overflowing with goofball charm. Whether you're hopping along a speeding train or battling a legion of evil chefs, every level of this colourful platformer provides something that's sure to slap a great big smile across your face. Collect hats, gain new powers, and face off against the nefarious moustache girl, and do it all for 50% off.
Like many RPGs, Underhero takes place in a fantastical kingdom where a noble hero has risen up to face down the forces of evil and ensure a just future for all. Unlike most RPGs, his quest has gone very poorly. As an evil underling, you probably weren't the first or the best choice for the job, but the Chestnut Kingdom is now counting on you all the same. On the plus side, the fact that you're officially a bad guy means that you can ask other enemies for hints and help along the way. And once you've learned all you can from them, you can use the game's innovative timing-based combat system to lay the smackdown on them. It's a clever twist on the classic RPG formula, backed up by a retro art style that's just bursting with old school personality. And best of all, Underhero is now a gigantic 70% off.
Now, 20% off and available on Xbox Game Pass, The Wild at Heart is a game that simply oozes charm, and that's thanks to a stunning hand-drawn art style that shines in 4K Ultra HD on the Xbox Series X. In this open-world adventure, you'll delve into a magical realm full of cute little critters called Spritelings. And by taking command of these mystical little fellas, you'll be able to battle enemies, open up new pathways, and perhaps even protect them from the dark forces which have been taking over their world. Funny how that works. Anyway, look, underneath all of this fantastical fun, The Wild at Heart also tells a moving story about two youngsters trying to find their place in the world. So whether you're here for the emotional journey of self-discovery, or just the chance to lob little monsters at bigger ones, then this one has you pretty much covered.
To end things off on a nice tranquil note before we all start getting riled up about that showcase again, Seasons After Fall is now 80% off. This soothing side-scroller has you guiding a fox through a magical forest in which something seems to have gone terribly wrong. To help put things right, you'll need to meet with each of the forest guardians in turn to borrow their season-shifting powers. Seasons After Fall's world is already a gorgeous place to hop around, but once you start freezing over lakes and commandeering tree vines, the whole place comes to life in even more spectacular fashion. And why wouldn't you want to become Mother Nature herself for just 20% off its original price?
We really do have a game for all seasons this week, so be sure to hit the comments and let us know which ones you'll be counting on to get you through the summer. And we'll be back soon with more deals, tips, and other bits and pieces, so don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. Bye!